Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to WFSO Aftermath. Of course, we're live on Twitch and we're live on YouTube, and this one is like kind of like a picture-in-picture pre-recorded for you guys on YouTube as well. So, if you can't like watch the live, you can also watch the pre-recorded version. So, the pre-recorded version is a little bit shorter than the live, unless y'all enjoy like watching it live, and if y'all ain't sleep around this time. And for you people that's listening to the podcast, welcome. Um, oh, that's cool. Fleeting driver deadly crash. Oh, okay. Okay, something that happened last week. Okay. But anyways, today we're going to talk about the results of the Under Siege pay-per-view that TNA had this past Friday. Of course, the Backlash pay-per-view, and that was in France, and it was showing here in the States during the day. So we got that to talk about, the results of that. We'll see if there's some wrestling news that's going on too. We're gonna check on that. Probably do like a couple of trades in the trade machine for see what the Bucks can get. As I mentioned on the live here, we're on live right now, but what I mentioned to the folks on Twitch and also on YouTube, that like I was listening to a podcast and they was talking about a lot of things to who player they should go for, which players they should get rid of, and which players not resign and stuff like that. So there's a few things that they just said, like who they should go for. And, I even played with a little bit myself with the NBA trade machine and seeing like they could get like certain person. And I also mentioned somebody they could draft in the NBA draft, because most likely they're gonna have their first round pick this year, because I seriously doubted that the New Orleans Pelicans is gonna swap, because New Orleans Pelicans are gonna have to hire a pick. Although they made it to the playoffs, but they end up in the seventh seed, and the Bucks are in the third seed of the East. But no, mainly like in the West, most of them had like a better record, so that's not gonna like change much or anything. So most likely, the Bucks will have their first round pick, but they already have their second round pick, which belongs to Portland, which most likely will be I think the 34th pick. They said it was going to be. So yeah, we're going to talk about that. Look at the mock drafts and see like who they projecting like the Bucks should be getting in the first round and second round. Like if they made it posted that far. So we will see. If y'all trying to wait on the Bucks, if y'all trying to wait on talk about the Bucks, we're gonna get to that later on. But first, we're gonna talk about TNA's Under Siege results first. Half of the predictions I had for Friday, I was wrong, and I kind of did the predictions during the pay per view, because it's like I need to get this out now, and I'm just not watching it, and I already missed the first match of the pay per view and jumped on to the second, and I missed the pre-show as well. So it was, helping. It was just a good idea just to get it out there. So get it out there. It was on YouTube Live. If you guys watching on the pre-recorded, it'll probably be popped up on the screen like anytime during this show. Let's just get to the results. So let's start with the countdown to Under Siege, which is one of the matches I didn't see, and the matches they didn't announce. So yeah, that's insane. Um, yeah, Rhino versus VSK, and Rhino did win that match. Okay, let's see what else happens. Of course, FBI was in action. The FBI versus Datiri. I think that's what it is. It's like a tag team. Of course, the FBI did win, and no surprise in there. Um, yeah, there was some matches that has been changed though too. So another one they had normally for the Digital Media Championship match they had Laredo Kid. I think he was going against Rick Swan, but that changed. So the Digital Media Championship match would end up being Laredo Kid versus Casey Navdario. And Laredo Kid did retain, but I'm just wondering why the match had changed. And there was like a few matches on here that did change. So let's see. First one it was the kicked off the pay per view. It was a tag team match for Josh Alexander and Eric Young going against Frankie Kazarian and Steve Macklin. That happened. That match I didn't see, but the person that told me who won was kind of confusing, so I decided, not to take their prediction and stuff like that, and just watch, just like read the results anyway. So this will be the first time I'm reading this result. Josh Alexander and Eric Young did win. They did defeat Kazarian and Steve Macklin. So that was pretty cool. Kind of predicted it, and I was right about that one. Let's see. Havoc went against Ash by Elegance. Havoc had Rosemary on her corner, and Ash by Elegance had her personal concierge, whatever they call it, on her corner. Yeah, yeah, Ash by Elegance did win the match, and I thought Havoc was going to win, but it didn't go that way. So now, next up, let's see who else. Joe Henry versus Zachary Wentz. Yeah, that match happened. Of course, Trey Miguel was in the corner. I thought it was going to be a lot of interference by First Class, AJ Francis, and Rick Swan. I thought there was going to be some interference with them and cost Joe Henry the win, but it really wasn't. They wasn't like in the interference. I guess they ended up having their own match to worry about. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But Joe Hendry did win his match against Zachary Wentz. Yeah, the Knockouts World Tag Team Championships on Spitfire with Danny Luna and Joey Threat versus Alicia Edwards and Masha Slamovich for the, of course, Knockouts Tag titles. Yeah, I didn't think that they was gonna let Spitfire like lose the titles that quickly, but unfortunately they did, which kind of sucks. So Alicia Edwards and Masha Slamovich are the new Knockouts Tag Champs. So yeah, I'm still, stunned by that. But then again, at least now everybody on the system has the title. So yeah, I guess that's saying something, and they really want this group to be huge, which I don't blame them for wanting that group to be huge. But I don't know if she probably would have went for the Knockouts title and won it. Maybe that would be it, but. So she's one half of a tag champ. So yeah. Okay, so now the next match was Hammerstone was supposed to go against Jake something. Just like I was saying, it was one of the matches that have changed. So they ended up putting Rick Swan going against Jake something. Since was it Alex Hammerstone wasn't cleared to compete. I guess something that happened. Maybe they was talking about what happened on Thursday or something before that, because TNA's shows except for pay-per-views has been pre-recorded. So yeah, Rick Swan with AJ Francis versus Jake something, and it was just a lot of stuff going on. Diener came out to assist Jake something, like trying to make it even, like a 2-on-2. They did that, but I think like AJ Francis was gonna was about to attack Cody Diener, but the thing is I think they ended up having like a disqualification match with that, but Yeah, because they saying Rich Swann with versus Jake something ended in a no contest. Um, oh, and it was now a tag team match. Okay, I thought so. But First Class did beat Jake something and Cody Deaner. I think Cody Deaner did get pinned by Swan doing the. Oh, he did it on Jake something. Okay, so yeah, a little bit different. So the returning Jonathan Gresham went against Kushida. I thought Kushida would get this win, but unfortunately he didn't. And it was a different persona that Jonathan Gresham was getting. Was wearing, like, he had like a mask and like black and white tights. So he normally would wear trunks, but this time he was just wearing tights, and it was just weird. The ending of this match was like very weird, and I guess it was like, okay, black ink. They said that was because, yeah, it was something black. They ended up going in Kushida's mouth. Then Jonathan Gresham pinned him 1, 2, 3 for the win. So Jonathan Gresham did defeat Kushida, but I just it just got so confusing with, the ending of that match. They had to carry Kushida like to the back, well, help him to the back, because, yeah, he was starting to spit out some black ink, as they call it. It was just weird. A mixed tag match was next. PCO and Jordan Grace went against Steph DeLander and Khan. Although Steph DeLander and Khan was going to win, but no. Jordan Grace and PCO did win the match, and not upset about it, but I just thought they're going to probably do it a little bit different. Probably just keep Steph DeLander like in the mix with the Knockouts title, but I don't know. Maybe it's not over. Who knows? Um, but yeah, the match was crazy. X Division match. Mustafa Ali versus Ace Austin. It was a very good match. Very entertaining, and possibly could have been match of the night, to be honest. So, you know, Mustafa Ali have his helpers. They end up, you know, almost helping Ace Austin. They mainly, cost him the match. So yeah, it was just weird. Like, the referee stopped Ali from using the X Division title as a weapon, but also Ace Austin ended up falling on the X Division title, and Ali hits the 450 splash for the 1, 2, 3 pin. So Mustafa Ali did retain, as I kind of predicted, and yeah. Um, let's see what else. Um, oh yeah, now is the 6-man tag. I got a little bit confused of the winner of this one, so I did pick Matt Hardy and Speedball Mountain to win this match. So the end up TNA's champion moves and the tag champions Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards of the system. Alicia Edwards Word, she was out there, and she kind of caused drama and stuff with it. But the system did defeat Matt Hardy and Speedball Mountain, and I thought that was the wrong decision from them. It wasn't nothing against the system, but if they're gonna have Matt Hardy be like the number one contender for their next match, whenever him and Moose face each other, like, they should have won. But that's just my opinion. But TNA went a different way. So and I know they got a Against All Odds in June in Chicago. Well, part of me would like to go, but probably not, because financial wise. But who knows? Maybe I will go. It ain't like all set in stone just yet, but we'll see. But yeah, that'll be their next pay-per-view, will be Against All Odds. And you can also watch that on the Ultimate Insiders, which means if you're like a TNA subscriber on YouTube, you can watch it. It's just like their main four pay-per-views, like Hard to Kill, Rebellion, Slammiversary, and Bound for Glory. Those are the only four, I should say, that you gotta pay for. So it's like TNA has their big four pay-per-view. So yeah. So I was saying about Ali and Ace Austin being match of the night. That's what I'm gonna go with. As that would be the match of the night. Um, Overall with this pay per view, like I said, very good pay per view. Like I said, some things I predicted wrong, and which is a good thing because with TNA, their matches, like their pay per view matches, is like unpredictable, and that's what you need in certain places. Like I don't think like not saying AEW doesn't have like surprising winners that much, but WWE doesn't until you get to their main four. But at least with TNA, any pay per view they have, it'll be surprises, and you predict one thing and it'll go another. So that's always a good thing with TNA. I give them the 8 out of 10 from 1 to 10 of this pay per view. And grading it overall, I'll give it a B+. So yeah, I'm gonna give Under Siege pay per view a B+. Although I think if I would have saw the countdown and all that other stuff, I probably would have graded it differently and rated it differently. But yeah, like I said, 8 out of 10 for the rating, and for the grading will be a B+. So let's get out of that one and let's go to last night's Backlash. Surprisingly, they only had like, oh wait a minute, maybe that helped. Full story. Okay, that's not what I want to go to. As y'all probably already know, and they mentioned it at the Kentucky Derby, I think it was their way to get ratings on the Kentucky Derby. Well, a lot of people watch it anyway. But yeah,
Hold on, I'm gonna turn it down.
oh, I don't. Oh, okay.
The volume just whopped itself.
It happens. But
There's zombies.
anyway, so Las Vegas is going to be hosting next year's WrestleMania, and we will get to the reasons why they decided to go with Las Vegas over Minneapolis in a bit. But first, I need to get back to like talking about the results of. Let's see, it'll take me back. Okay, they just got it in small print, so we can just read it from there. But I'm still kind of like upset that it was only 5 matches for like a little bit over 3 hour pay per view. And as y'all saw with TNA, they have like a little bit over a 3 hour pay per view and managed to fit like at least like 10 matches. So I like quantity and I like quality too, but I like quantity or more than quality. I guess that's just me because the matches are gonna be good regardless, but it just needed to Backlash just needed to have more matches. But my grading and rating we'll talk about in a minute. But yeah, it kicked off with Randy Orton and Kevin Owens versus Tama Tonga and Solo Sikoa. So I thought Randy and Kevin. Well, no, I didn't think that. I thought Solo and Tama Tonga was gonna win the match. They did, but first it was a regular match, but they couldn't keep control of the match. So Nick Aldis came out and decided just to have it as a street fight. So no disqualification, no countouts. Only can win by pinfall. So that happened, and it seemed like Kevin Owens and Randy Orton was about to win. Then I think I forgot what his name is, but I know him as Camacho when he was in WWE the first time on it was on the SmackDown brand. So he came back, interfere in the match, but can't get upset with that because there was no disqualifications anyway. But it seems like they stretching this bloodline storyline longer, which I have no problem with it, and just want to see where it goes and like what Roman Reigns going to say about these couple additions to the group and just what his thoughts on it. So we know that right now he's doing a movie. Roman Reigns is, and he probably won't even be back until like a little bit close to SummerSlam, which we'll probably get like what did he thinks about what's going on with the bloodline, what Solo Sikoa is doing, and all that stuff. So I guess we will see from there. So very good match though. Next up was the triple threat match for the WWE Women's Title. Well, you might say undisputed Women's Title. You got Timothy Stratton versus Naomi versus Bayley, the defending Women's Champion. Very good match. Can't complain, and you saw the reason why Timothy Stratton. If you saw the PLE event, that why they did call her up, and you saw what she's doing and stuff. So it was a good showing by her, and all three women did great in my opinion. But Bayley did survive, and in the beginning of the match, they all try to roll up each other like for the pin, and the crowd loved it. But we will talk about the crowd in a bit as well. So Bayley did retain. Naomi gave her a hug afterwards and let Bayley have her moment. So it was, like I said, a pretty good match as well. I guess the match that that people did not like the ending of was the women's tag team match. Nobody didn't like how the ending ended up and what happened, so they really didn't like that. But as I predicted, Bianca Belair and Che Gargill did defeat Kabuki Warriors. With there were some moments on there with Jay Cargill that she did, and I liked. But it was just that ending of it. That double team move they tried to do was end up going a little bit slow. But I can understand why some people were upset. But when you're like in the ring and stuff like that, you have adrenaline going. So things can happen. But anyways, of course that's the only title that has changed, but the women's tag titles. And that the Kabuki Warriors, Kairi Sane and Asuka is going to get a rematch eventually. So just wait for that. World Heavyweight Championship match. You got main event Jey Uso versus Damian Priest. Jey Uso did almost win the match if it wasn't for interference from Finn Balor and JD Madonna. Although Damian Priest did not want them to interfere, they did anyway. So Damian Priest did retain. Although he wasn't happy about, them interfering, but still kind of celebrated afterwards. But yeah, he wasn't happy about them interfering. Which he said he wanted to do it on his own, but didn't get that chance to. The main event, you have Cody Rhodes going against AJ Styles, and the first time ever these guys had one-on-one match. They something that they point out. AJ Styles was kind of wearing the gear where he beat his father Dusty Rhodes for the NWA title. I think it was like they said it was like 20 years ago. Like the kind of like the marking in the beginning of TNA when TNA was having NWA a part of it, and they was just had the NWA title. So AJ Styles did was defending it and retained it for those who don't know. Um, but this was a good match too. But at the end, Cody Rhodes did win and did retain the undisputed WWE title against AJ Styles. Would this feud would be over with? Um, I don't think so. Like they still got King of the Ring, King and Queen of the Ring to go to. If they're gonna have their rematch there, that can happen. Um, okay, during the pay per view, well, the PLE event, they did mention a lot of first round matches for like on the Raw side of things for the King and Queen of the Ring tournament. Um, yeah, Raw's had theirs ready, but on SmackDown, I guess we'll find out how their first match is going to go in the later date. Um, you had Sheamus. I think he's going against Gunter, I believe. So that would be an interesting match. It was Ricochet and Ricochet's in it. I know, but I forgot who he's going against. Let's see who else. There's a few more people I just cannot remember offhand. But on the women's, you have the returning, the current Queen of the Ring, Selena Vega. She's in it. Um, there's a few more. I just remember that one. So they had like all their first round matches announced for that. Okay, now grading this is like kind of hard because like although the matches were good, but this like the outcome, like kind of results of it is like really predictable. So some matches I understand why, and other matches is like just kind of made sense. So well, yeah, most of them kind of make sense with the results. But I guess I wanted a little bit of a swerve, but just didn't get the swerve. So overall, the fans were good too. Like they was chanting and all that stuff, and they were just loud all day long. Well, all night long. It was night at there. So grading this, by 1 to 10, I would give it a 7. From rating it 1 to 10, yeah, I rated 7. Grading it is a little bit difficult, so I'm gonna give it a C plus. Only because it wasn't like enough matches for the car, and some of the matches did drag a little bit too long. But I know they want to get their story out there, but some of the matches did drag, especially the very first one, kind of dragged a little bit too long. And the a lot of it wasn't enough matches just to make me go like, oh, I like this pay per view. But like I said, they was all good matches, but it just wasn't enough like matches to put on there. You had like a 3 hour pay per view. You only had like 5 matches. Like you could give other people their shine too. So just insane. But yeah, I give it a C plus for the grading, and the rating is 7 out of 10. So we can go to the next one. Let's look for some news. I'm looking at news through Wrestling Incorporated. So you want your news like AEW and WWE, you can check them out. Um, I can bring up something like news wise. I can bring up this now. The reason they said they rather do WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas instead of Minnesota, but I was in like other rumors like what they say. They said something as like Minneapolis got transportation problems, although they got like a something like they got here in Milwaukee. They got like a hop thing, but it's more like a train. So they had that go from place to place. Um, I know they were saying they had that much complaints about their Uber and Lyft, like they didn't have that going on at the moment. So that was the thing I've been hearing from people. But the actual reason was it was by the Minnesota's sports and shows commissioner, I believe she was. And Hazel did send me the article, and we found out more about it as the day go on today. That it was WWE's decision to go to a different direction than use Minnesota for WrestleMania 41. So, although Minnesota put the bid on first and all that stuff, and get turned down because WWE want to go a different direction. Like, whatever. Like they could have did it in Minneapolis. Like it would have done great. Especially, I would have went to the one in Minneapolis next year if it was going on. Would have saved up for a trip or something like that. But nope. They end up going to Las Vegas, and I get to hear a person I know get the rubbing in everybody's face, which is just terrible and bad at the same time. But whatever. But they also mentioned that they are talks with WWE to hosting something in the near future, maybe WrestleMania 42 in Minneapolis. Why not? You got a couple of wrestlers that's from Minnesota, so why not? And plus, I'm sick and tired of the Midwest get treated like horrible for the past. I think the last pay per view we had here was Fastlane, and that was in either 2017 or 2018. And like none against Chicago, but they of course they get like
with up to 40 grams of.
Okay, let me stop that. But the treatment that like the South and the West Coast is getting, like they're getting like some main pay per views, and we don't. Like, it was a good thing that they got Detroit last year for SummerSlam, and now this year it'll be Cleveland, and they also did have Survivor Series in Chicago last year. I was at both Detroit for SummerSlam and Chicago for Survivor Series, although I didn't actually go to the show because plans didn't fall through, but I was down there. And yeah, either way, I did have fun at those events, especially like the hotel I was at. It was very close to like downtown Detroit. Well, it was a very cheap hotel. It was like I ain't want to like. I was just glad that it was as close as it was. For like getting like a Uber down there, it was like about like 5-10 minutes away. So some of the stuff didn't cost. The only thing I had to do like pay like certain amount of money for going to the Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn meet and greet. Like I paid for the way there, and a friend I met there called Billy gave me a ride back, and we went to the WrestleCon, which would be my first time going to WrestleCon was last year, and it was fun. Like I couldn't get everybody that I wanted, but at least I got the ones that I really wanted. So Boogeyman. I think it was also. Oh God. Sienna. She's called Allison Kay, and Marty Bell. Got them. And I think it was one more person. I don't believe, but I know my friend and his son had took a picture with Kevin Nash. They wanted me to join the picture, but I was like, no. They wanted to meet you. So I already met Kevin Nash, so I was like, just I'll take the picture for them, but I let them, have that picture moment for them. So yeah. But yeah, I'm not gonna go to this year's SummerSlam since I already went last year. But I'm glad they're having it in the Midwest, like in Cleveland. So that's pretty cool. Um, I'm trying to think what else. Okay. Well, Survivor Series, like they did with SummerSlam, they had like a WWE store, which they had like a weekend, like a superstore, but they had like a weekend full of special guests come in and took pictures. So I didn't do it at Survivor Series, but I did do it with SummerSlam. So yeah, it was fun, and plus, there's a big possibility that Milwaukee will get the Royal Rumble. The earliest will be in 2026, since like after this season with the Brewers, they're gonna do the winterization, but that will be done by they actually probably be done with it by the beginning of the next season, and that's when the American Family Field is gonna start having you know guest stuff all year round instead of like just hosting like events on spring and summer. So that's good news, and like I said, big things is going on around here. Like Brewers gonna winterize their arena. We got the Braid Center extension that's gonna open in a few weeks. I think like I think it's actually gonna be a week from this coming Saturday. Actually, got like an open house. I will be there. I might do a little bit of video while I'm there just to show you guys. So that will probably be on YouTube. So watch out for that. Um. Oh yeah, with the WWE didn't resign Drew Gulak, so everybody thought that he was fired. Like, no, he wasn't fired. They just didn't resign him, and his contract was up. Triple H had made that clear for that, and they thought it was like something to do with the Ronda Rousey thing. So yeah, so that's good that they didn't fire him or anything like that, but they just let him go. His contract was up, and they just let him go. Um, Let me see. Oh, it'll be Easter weekend for next year for WrestleMania, and plus WrestleMania 41 is like on April 19th and April 20th, which will be around my birthday, and it's like I'm still not gonna go because Las Vegas is too expensive. So you know, um, let's see. Yeah, he still had that. Yeah, Tony Khan still had that neck brace on from that incident that happened on Dynamite. Um, Trying to see if yeah, I'm just trying to look at. Let's see what's to. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, there it is. So I can talk about the complete like matches of for the Raw brand for King and Queen of the Ring. So let's see. Let's see. Yeah, like I said, Gunter versus Sheamus. That was the one I was talking about. You got Drew McIntyre versus Finn Balor. Then you got Ricochet versus Eli Dragunov. Now that's gonna be a good match. You got Kofi Kingston going against Rey Mysterio. That's for the men's side for the first round for Raw. Now the women they had the debut of Lyra Valkyria going against Asuka. You got Io Sky going against Natalia, Zoe Stark versus Ivy Now, and Selena Vega versus Shayna Baszler. So Selena Vega is the current winner of, I think it was the 2020. Let's see, I think it was the 2021 King of the Ring. Yeah, the 2021 King of the Ring, Queen of the Ring. She won, and Xavier Woods did win the 2021 King of the Ring that year. So most of the I think most of the matches would be. I'm sick of that popping up. So most of the matches is mainly just going to be on this coming Monday on Raw, which will be tomorrow. So that's going to happen. And like all the trades and the draft picks and stuff that they made will be official starting tomorrow as well. So whoever got drafted, Raw is going to be on Raw, and whoever got drafted to SmackDown will be on SmackDown. And plus, you got people on this past Friday on SmackDown was naming themselves as they're going to be in the King of the Ring tournament. You got LA Knight, Carmelo Hayes, and Santos Escobar. But SmackDown didn't reveal their bracket yet, so we don't know what's going to happen with their first round of women and men is going to be in there. So they doing, it's actually like a 16-man tournament and a 16-women tournament. So I kind of like this, like Raw side and SmackDown side. So I know they did it. They did it in the 2021 King and Queen of the Ring. But yeah, that's pretty cool. But for some, wrestlers, normally, they win, the tournament. They normally will have like be the ones that probably end up being world champion and stuff like that. But yeah, that didn't happen. Let's see. I'm trying to think. What else to? Oh yeah, Gable Stevenson that they picked up a few years ago. They let him go, so I guess people just wasn't behind him when he had his match at NXT, and although he was great, but it's just like some people wasn't behind him and thinking like he was gonna be the. They was comparing him, saying that he's gonna be the next Kurt Angle, but they didn't like it. So it's like, seriously, like, what's your problem? It's just, it is just stupid. But it's like she got let go, but ain't nothing more that you can do. Yeah, of course, A-Town Down Under did defeat the Street Profits. Oh, excuse me. To retain the tag titles. WWE tag titles, I should say. Oh, yeah, Ethan Page is no longer with AEW, so right now he's a free agent. So, it ain't like he was fired or anything. They just didn't re-sign his contract, so he's doing his own thing. Okay, you already know about the Uncle Howdy thing, and they happened to Wyatt Six to come in. So yeah, of course they released a lot of NXT performers that was never on TV. So yeah, and congratulations to Ricochet for winning the first ever WWE Speed Champion. So that's a good thing to put on his mental. Like, he was already, won the Intercontinental title and the United States titles, and now he got this title, the WWE Speed title. So congratulations to him. I think they showed that episode this past Friday of him winning it. That's it's on X. formerly known as Twitter. So their episodes will be on that. I did watch a few and kind of witnessed one when they had a match in Milwaukee a few months ago. Um, oh god. We already know about Jesse Ventura and wants to get back with WWE since Vince is gone. So we already knew about that. I really, really not much to talk about like wrestling wise. So I think we're just gonna end the wrestling part here and talk about basketball, which is we're gonna talk about the Milwaukee Bucks. So for those who trying to hold out until I was talking about the Milwaukee Bucks, you can watch right now. Um, yeah, yeah, it was a couple of things that some people are saying like the Bucks should go get and Fanspo finally updated the 2024-2025 season, like who's on contract and who's not on contract. So they did upgraded that, and they did make a few changes here, but it really wasn't that much big of a change they made. So it's like whatever. Um, of course, you still got Giannis and Damian. Of course, they're gonna stay next this coming season. But I think because I thought Damian Lillard had like 5 years, so no, he has 3 years left. And I think he has a. I know Giannis have a player option on his final season. I think Damian Lillard has his too, player option. Um, Chris Middleton, of course, he has a player option on after this season. Next season, next off season he'll have a player option if he want to accept it or not. Brook Lopez on the final year of his contract. Um, Bobby Portis, I think he got a player option next year. And Pat Connaughton, I think he had a player option as well. Not sure. But you got Majal Beauchamp still under contract. AJ Green still under contract. Um, Thanasis Kumbo, free agent. Malik Beasley, free agent. Dario Garnari, free agent. Although he didn't live up much to the height that he was doing like in Detroit and Washington. So yeah, that didn't go right. Doran Garbage, he already retired this year, so I don't know why they put him on here. So I guess they got him as a cap hold, which is kind of silly. Still don't know why they got Jeff Tees on here either. Patrick Beverly is a free agent. Myers Leonard, which I would have hoped they would have kept, you know, this season, but they didn't re-sign him or anything. So it's kind of a bad move for them because, as they were saying on this panel today, that Bobby Portis is really not a good backup center. Like, he's good at his power forward position, but he's not like a rim protector or anything like that. But yeah, he does hustle and stuff, but Bobby Portis is not really a good backup center. Although he's younger than Brook, but still not that good. Yeah, and I think Bobby Portis is 29, I believe. Let me go back to that. Yeah, he's 29. Um, Jay Crowder is free agent. I don't think they're gonna resign him. Uh, Andre Jackson Jr. Of course, he got 3 years left on his contract. Chris Livingston, of course, 3 years left on his contract. Both Andre Jackson Jr. and Chris Livingston did get drafted with the Bucks. Both in the second round in 2023. Ty Washington was a two-way player. He's a free agent. Jalen Galloway, okay, he got one season left, but they really don't reveal like the prices of how much that the two-way players are making. Ryan Rollins, they recently signed him, so he's got a year left. Um, so people I think that should not be re-signed with the Bucks, in my opinion, um, they should trade Brook Lopez and get younger because Brook Lopez is getting older and slow. Pat Connaughton has not been that great for the past few years, so they need to let him go. Um, AJ Green should be in the starting lineup this coming season for like his shooting and decent decent defense too, I should say. Um, I would like to keep Malik Beasley if I was the Bucks, and if they can, they. But then again, somebody mentioned that there's a possibility that somebody can give him like a bigger contract than the Bucks can. Um, if it was like after his second season with the Bucks with Malik Beasley, they can have bird rights on him, but they don't. But they do have bird rights on Thanasis, so most likely, he's gonna resign back with them. Probably like, same deal, probably 2 million. Um, Dario Garnari, I'm like 50-50 on him because he did show out a little bit in the playoffs, but and I guess they were saying like as soon as he got to the Bucks, he just wasn't the same, and plus he wasn't getting that much playing opportunity. So I'm like 50-50 with Daniel Garnari. So if they let him go, they let him go. If they resign him, good as well. So just see how that goes. Patrick Beverly, I would want them to re-sign him back because they're gonna need a backup point guard, and plus like his defense and the way he was playing, like in it's not just in the season but in the playoffs, was pretty good too. But I know some people are going to say about his age and stuff, which no complaints, but I guess if I was them, I would keep him. But that's just me. Jay Crowder, although they traded you for like 5 second round draft picks, you're not what you're used to be, and you gotta go. Andre Jackson Jr., Chris Livingston, of course, they got 3 years left on their contract, and I would just talk about them being like rookies. But Chris Livingston didn't get that much playing time, but Andre Jackson did, with Chris Livingston being the youngest of the group at 20. So you got a lot of time to, want him, develop him and stuff like that. And plus, he was killing it in the G League. So why not? Ty Washington, they really didn't use him that much, but hopefully they do sign him because he's 22 and a young player. So why not? So just sign him for like a couple of years on a not like on a two-way, but like at least a deal, because they can probably sign somebody else in a deal if they wanted to. So so we're gonna do something a little bit different. So there was there was players that they said they should go for. Let's go from the bottom. Portland, maybe they can go back and get Malcolm Brogdon if they wanted to. They can trade him for Brook Lopez and just draft a center in the draft if there's a good one. They can probably do that. Some people saying they should try to go for Jordan Clarkson in the offseason. I don't think that's going to work. Or they'll be crazy enough, to go for God, what's his name? Who was in Boston and now in Memphis? Sorry, I done forgot his name. I can't even remember. Andrew Wiggins was another that people been saying that they should go for from the Warriors. Let's see, Pelicans, Suns, Dallas, Clippers. Maybe Paul George. Who knows? Thunder. I don't think they're gonna get anybody from there or the Nuggets. Um, let's see. Boston, no. Knicks, no. Caps, no. Magic. Only person they thinking they probably can get is Jonathan Isaac. That can play, center, like a backup center, for his defensive purpose. Pacers, no. 76ers. I don't know. Somebody had a crazy thought of maybe getting Tobias Harris, which he was scoreless during the playoffs. So, although he was a former Buck too, but no, he probably not. Bulls. Some people are saying Zach LaVine, but I don't know how they're gonna do that unless they try to get a matching contract like with Brooklyn. Somebody did on the video talk about maybe they can go for Mikal Bridges, or they can go for Nick Claxton. He was another person they said he should get in the off season too. But probably the person I probably be thinking about the most going after was Detroit. Maybe go for James Wiseman. Maybe him, but they also mentioned like maybe Kyle Kuzma from the Wizards. Maybe trade him for Brook because Wizards like in a downward spiral, and they got their draft pick. But we gonna go to Detroit right quick. But for those who's listening on the podcast, we probably won't gonna have much time doing this, so I'm gonna try to do this quickly as possible. James Wiseman is a free agent. Oh, they say unrestricted free agent. Normally they said he probably was restricted free agent, but yeah, they got him as unrestricted. But Detroit got restricted bird rights on him if they want to keep him. So maybe he'll probably be a person that they can go for, or cause let's see, they really do need like to get a center. So let's say they go for Jaden Duran. Maybe they'll throw him and Quentin Grimes in there for Pat, and probably will throw like a pick or something in there. So see, according to like here, they got 2024 first round pick. Although New Orleans Pelicans holds the rights to swap if they want to. Bucks also got the 2024 second round pick from Portland. And their 2020 next, they won't have anything in 2025 unless they try to trade for it or do something in the offseason like they did last year. Just try to get some second round picks. Same thing in New Orleans. They got the right to swap unless Bucks end up getting better, worser than they are. And 2030, Portland just has the right to swap that too. So probably the only pick they can probably move will probably be like if it's guaranteed they keep their first round pick, they can trade that, or they can trade their 2024 second round pick. So, but I'd rather they see them drafting their first and second round picks than like trading it. But yeah, I'm thinking they probably can go for Jalen Wiseman. They do a sign and trade. Maybe they'll trade him for like Brook, and let's just like add Pat content into this too. So let's just say Brook and Pat for James Wiseman, because the contract would be like, although it would be a little bit more, but they said this year with the rules they gotta be exactly the same price. So gotta look for something that would make I don't know, but normally like some contracts they can really absorb because Detroit is $83 million almost 84 million under the cap. So crazy enough. Thanks you guys for listening on the podcast. Please follow us and look for us and Wrestling Fans Speak Out for whatever podcast you listen to. So for us, we're gonna keep on going. So I don't think they're gonna go for Evan Fournier, although like he's 31 in the shooting guard, so probably not. And oh yeah, and there was another thing, like somebody mentioned on that podcast that they should go for Bobo. And I don't know why somebody was saying like he was lazy, and I don't think that's the case at all. Let's see. Let me do this for a second. See, Grayson Allen, of course, he signed an extension. I don't think they would go for that. Yeah, because most likely, I think, yeah, that is young. Oh, okay. Bo's a free agent, so if they want to sign him in the offseason, they can. And he's only 24 and probably can run faster and quicker than Brook Lopez. So maybe they, sign Bobo and probably try to trade Brook Lopez for like maybe a couple of young players or something from another team. They can do that. But I wouldn't mind them going for Bobo. Person that can, run up and down the court with Giannis. That'll be something. But yeah, let's see who they can go for, and they probably, if they want to get somebody young, yeah, there's no way they're gonna go for Devin Booker or Bradley Beal. Oh wow, Phoenix is more over the tax than the Bucks are. That's crazy. But they got some young pieces that maybe Bucks would probably want if they do like a sign and trade for like Bobo and give maybe they could say Jalen Crowder he can go back to Phoenix, but then again they'll be like a way older team, so yeah, don't see that happening. But before we go, we're gonna look at the mock draft, but those are some like some opinions of what some people said about like who the Bucks should go for and stuff like that. So I'm gonna do like series of videos during this month and next month before the free agency starts, and I think it starts either June 30th or July 1st. So it's one of those, and the draft is gonna be in late June. So we will talk about the draft and see what the Bucks get and stuff like that. So we will talk about that. But let's get out of this one and let's try to go to the latest mock draft. Okay, we can. Let's see what they got. They really think the Wizards going to get the first overall pick? Okay, so they thinking Jonathan Wasserman will be the first pick, and the guy is 7'1", so why not? It'll be something like they got with Kristoff Porzingis, but you saw that they traded him. And Bleacher Report think they should get Alex Scar, which is another center. Let's see. Okay, this. Oh, they just showing who will be the number one overall pick if it end up going between Wizards, Pistons, and Toronto. So they both just saying for their first pick they should actually go for. Oh, okay, I see what they did. They should go for Alex Scar. I get it. Spurs get the number two pick. They should go for Nikola Topic. He's a guard, 6'6" guard. Washington Wizards, if they get the second pick, same thing. Utah Jazz, if they get the second pick, Stephon Castle, guard. Third pick, guard forward, Zachary Rashier. Okay, guard forward, so you can play like different positions. Charlotte forward, Ron Holland. Okay, so let's see. Detroit and Washington both got 14% to get the number one pick. Charlotte is in third. Portland fourth. San Antonio's fifth. Toronto sixth. Memphis seven. Utah eighth. Brooklyn. Oh, but that pick's going to the Houston Rockets, so that's 4.5%. Atlanta 3%. Chicago 2%. Houston 1.5%, Sacramento Kings 0.8%, and Golden State Warriors 0.7%. Oh yeah, I forgot they're going to do it a little bit different. So the first round will be Wednesday, June 26th, and the second round will be Thursday, June 27th. So yeah, I forgot they're doing it a little bit different this year. Okay, this ain't what I was looking for. So I don't think ESPN will say the same thing too. Um, okay, let's look at the top 25. They probably ain't gonna let me. Yeah, they ain't gonna let me see it because yep, I gotta get ESPN Plus because I no longer have it anymore. So okay, 5 days ago. Okay, we'll do the NBA draft room. We'll go there. So let's see what they say. Okay, they're saying that the Pistons will get the first pick, and they go for Alexander Scar, 7'1", 217. Okay, Wizards, Nikola Topic, 6'6", and main position is a point guard. Hornets, Donovan Klingon from UConn, 7'2". Okay. Blazers, Rashir Risher. Sorry if I said it wrong. Oh, 6'9", 205. Okay, from France as well. Spurs, Stephon Castle from UConn, 6'7", 190. Shooting guard. Raptors from Matis Bulis, 6'10", 210. Grizzlies, Dalton Kenneth, 6'6", 204, shooting guard. Jazz, Cody Williams, 6'8", 190, small forward. Oh, Rockets, that was oh, the pick was from the Nets. Okay. Robert Dillingham, 6'1", 175. Okay, they compare him to Brandon Jennings. Hawks, Brown Howard, 6'8", 200. Reed Shepard, 6'3", 187 from Kentucky. Well, he played for Kentucky. Okay, Thunder. Let's see, Tinde Saturn. Sorry if I said it wrong. From France, he's 6'10", 205. Oh, they compare him to Michael Jordan, Michael Porter Jr.
From Hazel. Daddy Uncle Mikey isn't the man who is Freddy Krueger, the master of nightmares.
The master of nightmares.
Oh God.
It's official. I'm the master of nightmares.
That's funny. Oh, excuse me. Okay, one of the centers that I wanted the Bucks to get, but they probably won't get him, so they say the Kings would get him. Zach Italy, 7'3", 306 pounds. Wingspan 7'10". Oh, he's from Canada, but he played for Purdue. Okay, another center, Ulyss Mitzi, maybe going to the Blazers. Play for Baylor, 6'11", 215. Stronger Nick Claxton and Jared Allen plus. Heat, let's see, shooting guard Jerry McClain from Duke, 6'3", 195. Shooting guard Jacoby Walter, 6'5", 185. Played for Baylor. They compare him to Bradley Beal. For the Pelicans, that I guess they got from the Lakers. Keyshawn George from Switzerland, but he played for Miami, the college team Miami, 6'8", 205. They didn't compare him to anything. Then the Magic with Tyler Smith, point guard. Oh, power forward from G League Ignite, 6'9", 195. They didn't give him no comparison. Okay, I get it. Although they got Lakers in the bottom, they're saying maybe that pick may go to the Lakers, or like the Raptors, it may go to the guy out from the Pacers, but it may be going back to them. That's the possibility. I already said the Raptors. Isaiah Kohler, point guard, 6'4", 210. Aboki Stephon Marbury, they said. Cavs, Jalen Tyson, small forward from play for California, 6'7", 215. Pelicans that they got from the Bucks, but the Bucks might get that back. Devin Carter, shooting guard for Providence, 6'3", 195. Oh, I get it. So it's mainly the Bucks will end up getting the 23rd pick because they kind of, let's just say they swap. Okay, I got you. Tristan Da Silva, Colorado. He played for Colorado, but from Germany, a power forward, 6'9", 217. They didn't compare him to anybody. And this is what they're thinking the Bucks is going to get. Johnny Furby. Kind of said it wrong, but shooting guard. Played for Kansas, but is from Australia, 6'8", 202. Let's see, one of the highest prospects in the land over the second half of the season. He is a tall shooting guard with a sweet release on his jumper. He'll need to get stronger, but has an excellent athleticism, so that would be something. Feel for the game and tons of natural talent. He showed nice flashes on the defensive end, so probably a person they can get. It's probably a small forward too, so it's probably what the Bucks will get. Let's see. Knicks trade from the pick from the Mavs, Kyle Filipowski, power forward, 7 foot, 220. They compare him to a Keith Van Horn. Okay, they said the Knicks should get Tyler Kolek. Sorry if I spelled his name wrong, but he did play for Marquette, and I saw some of the Marquette games this year. Pretty good guy. Think they was called like the Big Ten. Last year he was the Big Ten Player of the Year, and I think he came in second this year though. They say a little bit of Steve Latz, but they said true forward general with an elite feel for the game and a great 3-point shooter should be immediate impact at the next level. So yeah, that's probably Kate Wizards. What they got from the Clippers, Jamar Watkins, small forward that played for Florida State, 6'7", 210. Oh, this was another player that some people think that the Bucks should get. You got the Timberwolves. You got Keller Ware. Played for Indiana. 7 foot, 220. They compare him to Jaron Allen and Lorenzen White. So, maybe they should. We had a big sophomore season. His first at Indiana, improvement in all aspects of the game, showing him better competitive fire. His upside could be too much to pass on at this point in the draft. Okay. Let's see. Nuggets, Deron Holmes, second, play for Dayton, 6'9", 221. Compare him to Kevon Looney. Okay, he's Kevon Looney from Milwaukee and played for Golden State, and was with the Golden State Warriors with all 4 of their championships. Let's see, Jazz from the Thunder on Carlton, point guard from Pittsburgh, 6'5", 190. Pass and shoot, okay. And of course the Celtics. Kevin McClure Jr. From Kansas, 6'6", 212. Player like Josh Hart. So we ain't gonna talk about much of the second round. So what we're gonna do is go to the Bucks one and try to look for a certain player that they were saying that the Bucks should go for. Okay, another center, Bucks probably will go after from Cameroon. Okay, go to defensive end. Okay, Dylan Jones, Bobby Klintman from NBL and from Sweden, 6'10" to 25. Okay, Blazers. Wake Forest, 6'5", 175, shooting guard. Okay, and then said the Bucks' other pick, their 35th pick, they should go for Antonio Reeves from shooting guard, Kentucky, 6'6", 195. A high volume 3-point shooter who can get hot from deep but needs to be more consistent. I doubt they go for him, but let me try to see if I can find that guy that they talk about getting. But like I said, the Bucks should not go for a best player available. They should go for a need instead of a best player available. At least, or get a center from the first round, or at least, then second round just get like the best player available. That's just me. Okay, Cam Jones. They think the Celtics going to get him. High level shot maker who plays a steady, complete game. Get hot in a hurry and score in bunches. That is true. The Suns and 76ers, okay, they forfeit their picks for the last one, but I don't see the player that they talk about getting Kevin Dunn, or I don't even see LeBron James Jr. on here. So maybe they probably won't get him. Wait a minute. What are they doing? Oh, these probably be players that'll be available after that. Like if they don't get picked, they probably go to a team can sign them on after the draft or whatever. Kind of what Bucks did with some of their players last year. Okay, don't see that. Nope, most likely it seems like that player that some people wanted to pick is not on here, and then you got LeBron James Jr. is not on here either. There's a possibility, he probably won't even get picked at all. But then again, somebody probably gonna pick them to probably lure LeBron James. So these just like mock picks, but they don't mean it's like official picks. So we never know. But I'm saying that, Bucks should go for a center in the draft. But that's just me. Who knows what they're gonna go after. But that'll be it for tonight, guys. I know it went a little bit longer than usual, but I just had to look at these on draft pick and see if that certain player was on here. But I did look at him earlier. That's no, it wasn't Chris Dunn. What was it? I can't even remember. www. No. Let me see if their draft they'll show like a little bit better, because there's people that gonna have their opinions on the draft. Okay. It was like Chris or Kevin. It was something done. So. Okay, let me get off of that and go to no, is it? Oh no, his name was starting with a K and I can't even remember. I cannot remember, so that sucks. So probably what I'm gonna do a video a little bit about this guy that they talk about they should get. So I'll remember his name eventually, but we're just gonna end it from here. And guys, thank you for like being on here this long and watching. The few of y'all that was on here. But yeah, I will probably end up doing a video about this Dunn guy and talk about him from there. I might do a video this week, but we'll see. Guys on Twitch, thank you for staying on here live. Please share the share the stream, share the love. Let people know that we're doing this if they like Milwaukee Bucks content and also pro wrestling content. They will like this channel, so please share and please get people to follow us as well. If you guys on YouTube, please like the video, give it a like. It will help the channel. Subscribe to the channel. Try and get to 500 subscribers at least by the end of June. That'll be next month. Check out our past videos too. You like pro wrestling action or news about wrestling or anything about the Milwaukee Bucks, you will get it through this channel. So please check out the past videos and please subscribe and like. And it was one more thing I was gonna say too. I can't even remember, but thank you guys for that was watching live, and thank you guys that's watching pre-recorded. Talk about sponsors, Art from the Heart. Check out the fan arts, the drawings and stuff. Find them on YouTube. Another one, moving dudes. If you're trying to move, if you're in Wisconsin or Florida trying to move within those states, give them a call. So 414-807-4299. Ask for LaShawn. He will help you with your move. Toy Dimension. If you're interested in collectibles, and they got some comics there too, you can check them out. I got the right address this time. It's 5925 West North Avenue, and they're in Milwaukee. If you're in the Milwaukee area, and Trophy Athletic. If you want your trophies made, or if you're looking for awards to get made, you can go to them. You can check out their website, trophyathletic.com, or you can visit them if you're in the Milwaukee area, 1021 North Martin Luther King Drive in Milwaukee. So once again, thank you guys for watching and all that good stuff. So until the next video, it could be any time. If it's any news or stuff like that drops, wrestling wise or basketball wise, we will talk about it. We'll post something right here on YouTube, or also we'll probably be on Twitch live, and also we will be on the podcast too. So check out Wrestling Fan Speak Out podcasts, or wherever you get your podcast from. It could be from Spotify, could be from Apple, could be from Stitcher, just wherever you get your podcast from. Just look for us on there and check out our past podcasts. So that'll be it for me. So thank you guys once again. Until next time, y'all have a good night, or whenever, or a good day whenever you're watching. And we'll be back on next week, same time. Probably be a little bit shorter. So till then, y'all have a good one.